hell? So over the last couple of weeks, some of you might have been noticing I've been posting some videos and some photos, you know, on Instagram and my YouTube regarding my Royal Whiptails. They have been currently breeding as this is a second batch about 4 days ago. I obviously touched on it last video regarding the KH and the water chemistry and such. Which I think maybe might have triggered them, but basically we had 15 the last batch. I think we've got like 10 left, and now I don't even know how many I had on the last batch. Had just the wall covered. So, and old mate Big Daddy was sitting there fanning them, so I just kind of let him do his thing until they hatched. I've caught as many as I could. There's still some in there that I still have to catch out into a breeding box. The ones I had before have just about passed the 4 week stage. A mate of mine here in Adelaide, he's been trying to breed these guys for a little while, and he's not been able to pass them past the 4 week stage, which I've done now. I can honestly say I have no idea why, and what's changed between, say, him and me. We're only a couple of minutes, like 20 minutes apart in distance, so you know, water's not really a thing. We kind of do the same sort of water chemistry. I think maybe the food could have been the issue, but you know, I don't know. So but yeah, so these guys are breeding really well at the moment. I'm probably pushing 30-40 right now. Some of them are longer than the others, which was really weird. I found one the other day was a good couple of centimeters, whereas the ones from the same batch in the breeding box are small. So as always, putting them into their own tank will grow them quicker. Keeping them in a smaller space grows them slower. So, which is kind of a nuisance, but I think because I've kept them in a smaller box, I kind of can watch them and see them grow, and I can learn more about them as well. Obviously, without causing them any defects. Now, obviously, I've had a few questions in the last couple of days regarding gendering these beautiful fish. Now, there is a variety of whiptails that are around, obviously in Australia and obviously around the world, but the main 3-4 you can get in Australia is the common whiptails, the red lizard whiptails. I think they're L10A, I think they're called, within the L numbers. The Royal Whiptails and the Farewellas. 5 long-nosed whiptails as well. So there's a couple I know that you can get. I myself have red lizards, long-nosed, royals and commons. They're around the fish room. Some get larger, some get smaller. So one of my largest long-nose is about good 20 something centimeters pushing. So variety there. Also with gendering of these guys. Now with the reds, I'm not too sure. I haven't really looked. There's not really much around about their gendering. I've had a good look. I could be wrong. If you find it, let me know. But in regards to the royals and the long nose, the males predominantly get the bigger size, and they grow a big bushy beard around their neck. So obviously where they have like bristle nose around their gills. There's a specific name for it, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, so a big bushy beard. I'll throw up a photo to basically show that. With the Royal Whiptails, I've got 2 males in there and about 4 females. The females are on the smaller side, whereas the males are the bigger ones with the big beards. Same with the long nose. When I had my other long male, same thing, big fella. They were the same size. The female and the male were the same size, but he had a big bushy beard. So it was very easy to tell between the male and the female. Without that, I think it would be fairly hard to identify the gender. I'm obviously still learning myself in regards to these guys, so things like the commons and the red lizards, I have no idea. So it's one of those things I still have to learn on and go forward and learn. But you know, if you guys know any other way to identify these guys, shoot me a message and let me know. But that's the main predominant one I know, is that the beard tells 1,000 words. That's usually the male. I don't even think the females grow much of a beard, if any at all. Like some of the bristlenose grow some bristles, but I think these females don't. Now with keeping these guys, I haven't found any issues with housing them with other bristlenose or other L numbers, even corries or guppies. Yeah, I have had a few people say that, you know, when they're a bit more territorial in areas, obviously with some fish, when they claim an area that's theirs, get the hell out of my way. That's really the only thing that I'd suggest you have to worry about. So I've got 2 males and 4 females in my Royal Whiptail tank. Now, same with most L numbers and bristlenose, you can keep them in trios, you can keep them in colonies, or you can keep them in pairs. I don't think there's a specific, you have to have this many, you know, this many and they'll be happy. I think the best way is, you know, usually keep in pairs and they keep company regardless of what fish in there. Obviously don't put anything aggressive in there. These guys will probably get picked off by bigger fish and more aggressive fish. But yeah, like these guys, so I keep mine in a 2-foot tank. Now you can keep them in a 3-foot, 4-foot, 1 foot's probably pushing it. I wouldn't recommend that, but you know, they get pretty big. I think my biggest male's, you know, pushing 15 centimeters. So you know, obviously the bigger the tank, the better. They'll grow to their area. But yeah, hopefully that answers the regarding, you know, keeping them guys in their tanks. When it comes to breeding, I stumbled on this upon it by accident. I didn't do anything specific to cause them to breed. I said I was mucking around with the KH of the tanks and eggs on the glass. I think it was after a water change as well. So, you know, I want to say they're like corridors, but like they're just different because they're, yeah, I don't know. It was very sudden and I wasn't expecting it at all, so I'm very happy with this learning process. But yeah, so, you know, playing around with the KH, change that around, and then eggs on the glass. Now they're 4 weeks from then, I've laid another batch. That might continue on going forward, I'm not too sure. But now I've got the water level stable and the KH stable now, so I mean they might. Now, like I said, there's 2, a male and a female that specifically are the ones that I know that are breeding. The other ones I've got are slightly bit smaller, so, you know, if you want to go these and you find that pair that do end up breeding, you can move them into a separate tank and go from there. Now I have been told that these guys can actively hunt their young. I haven't seen it personally, but I have been told from a few other breeders that might happen. Same with sort of corries and guppies, and like, you know, that happens. I think it might come with instinct, or maybe, you know, it comes with the genetics or what it is, because they will just learn eventually not to eat them. If not, they'll just keep eating them. Some parents are great, some parents are not, so you just got to play with it there. So the process I've been going through now is obviously rearing the fry. It's been quite interesting. So I've got a friend close that obviously is trying to breed them as well. And one thing we've noticed, there's not a lot of information regarding these guys and how to keep the fry going. You know, they talk about the sort of the green water and the enzymes and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff towards that sort of side of things with, you know, the microbacteria and all that sort of stuff. Now I've gone towards the other end. I put algae. I put moss in those tanks, and then I added a zucchini. So I sliced a little bit of zucchini and put it on the top. Now that seemed to work. Not too sure why. I think maybe because of the enzymes and such, but that worked. And obviously I added some a bit of almond leaf in there as well. So I add that into all my fried tanks just because it's obviously a natural antibacterial, and the microorganisms grow on it, so it gives them some food. So I've done that, and basically I think within the 4 days of them hatching, they stay on the egg sac they have on their stomach, and then you basically don't have to feed them. You feed them after that. Now I put the zucchini in like day 2 of them in the tank, and I haven't seen any drop off. I haven't had any issues. So yeah, the first batch, that's what all I did. I've waited, probably got a couple of days, replaced the piece of zucchini, and then just added a few little drops of food in there every now and then, cleaned the tank, replaced the zucchini, added a little bit drop of food. So that's all I've done so far. Haven't noticed any drop-offs, haven't noticed anything, so I'm not too sure what I'm doing right, but I'm doing something right. Now I think the last thing we're going to talk about is the water parameters of the tank. I've got a few other lines in there. So the temperature of the tank is about 26, pH is around the 7 or 6.87ish, so it's not too high. And the KH have been running at what, 3, just close to 3 DKH. I think the ideal range for most things is 2 to 4. So yeah, it's nothing special, nothing drastic. I've got a large sponge filter in there, so it's not the XY380, it's the larger one, like the big one you can use for a 4-foot tank. And I've got an Ocean Free 800 in there as well, so there's some flow. But yeah, there's nothing special, nothing drastically changed, nothing, yeah, it's just a 2-foot tank with a bubbler, and see how it goes. Now, he does lay behind a plant. It is a fake plant. I don't like it, but it's just in there now because he's breeding behind it. But yeah, so it's behind a fake plant, and I've had to move it a few times. I think I posted a video as well with me moving it because I saw more eggs. But he is laying behind that as well, so I'm not too sure if it's a safety thing or what it is, but that's also what he's been doing. So yeah, hopefully that answers all your questions regarding these guys, and obviously going forward I will try to endeavour to learn more, but it's an ever-evolving thing for me, and this is one of those things that I didn't expect to breed so soon or at all. I've never met anyone or seen anyone breed these guys, so it's kind of, I feel like I'm out on my own here, but I'm going with it and seeing, I'm touching base with who I can. So if you know anyone that has bred these guys, send them, let them, tell them to send me a message and give me some pointers, because it's different. It's very, very different. It's not like bristlenose, it's not like shrimp, it's not like guppies. It's very, I don't want to kill these off, because it's one of those things where I have never done this before, so I'm very happy. So yeah, but yeah, that's about it. So as always, if you want to shoot me a message, ask a few questions, go for it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.